Joining us at the table, Gina Rivera, CEO of Phenix Salon Suites and renowned beauty expert. Enjoy our conversation. Take your seat, get comfortable, because it's time to stay a while. Today, I have joining me at the table the lovely Gina Rivera, CEO of Phenix Salon Suites and renowned beauty expert. Gina, welcome to the table.
Thank you so much.
So, you and I, we had an opportunity to have some conversation before we took our seat here. And we talked about the power of the story. So we know that your business record speaks for itself. You are extremely successful. And I encourage you to share aspects of that as you see fitting in this conversation. But I am really wanting to get in for our listening audience, the who, the how, and the why of your story. I personally have a story, and I recognize the power of that when you deploy the story to work to your advantage. So can you please tell everyone, who is Gina Rivera?
Well, I have to tell you, I was at a very young age. I came out of the womb kicking and screaming, and it was always my way or the highway. And I didn't even have very many friends because they'd say, "You're so bossy." And I just wanted to be in control of everything. And I was quite rebellious, and I was always coloring outside the lines. I never felt like I was like everybody else. I was the youngest of 5 granddaughters, and I'm the only one that my grandmother ever spanked. So that tells you a lot. Oh yeah, she spanked me. But, I was just very rebellious, and I kind of was on my own path, and I wasn't accepted for that because everybody kind of was going down this normal path of school and friends and whatever, long ponytails, whatever was in. And I always had short hair, and I was always different. And kind of furthering down that path, I kind of took that on as well as a teenager. And I was 17 years old, and I went to a party that a 17-year-old shouldn't have been at. And there were a lot of drinking and drugs and smoking, and I was partaking. And I was sitting at a table and around a bunch of people, and there was this man that was sitting across from me. And we had exchanged some words, and he didn't like what I said, and he jumped over the table. And before I knew it, I was on my back, and he had both of his hands around my neck, and he started to strangle. And he went to kill me. And I can remember freaking out, and as I was losing my breath and going out, I kept hearing all these people screaming, saying, "Get him off of her, get him off of her, get him off of her." And finally, somebody pulled him off of me, and as I came to, I got up and I ran out of there, and I went home, and I was so scared to tell my parents, and I was so shook up because my life flashed right before my eyes. I went through my whole life, and I was so scared, and I didn't want to tell anybody. And I went home, and I packed a bag, and I told my parents I was going to a friend's house. I dropped out of high school, took a one-way flight to Phoenix, Arizona. And
let me ask you this.
Yes.
When you dropped out of high school, was that the track you were already on, or did that moment, with that moment of violence, did that push you in that direction?
I was headed in that direction because when I was in school, like I said, I never had a lot of friends. I was made fun of. I was very big, and I, was very matured body-wise and made fun of for that. And So I hated school. I didn't have a lot of friends. I always knew I wanted to be in hair.
Okay.
That was my love. I mean, I can remember, sitting at my very first hair show when I was 7 years old, and hair was flying and shears were shining, the music was blaring, and I was just like, 7 years old, and I was
What
just
were
like,
you doing at a hair show at 7 years old?
So I come from a very long line of hairdressers. So my mother and father are hairdressers. As a matter of fact, my father still does my hair today, and he's 82. And he's going to be so mad I just told you how old he is. He still does my hair today. I'm his last client standing. So I have 27 hairdressers in my family.
Okay.
A lineage that goes back to 1929. So that's another thing. I came out of the womb with scissors in my hand, and I always knew that I wanted to be part of that industry. And I think that that's why I was so checked out with school, because it was like, I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to have all that. I wanted to be big. So I go to Arizona after I drop out of high school, and I did a lot of things I was not proud of. But it was then that I learned to color my life there. And I do spell color COLOUR, because every letter has meant something significant as to where I am at today.
So what does that acronym stand for?
Start for C's, can'ts. People telling you can't. I had landed my very first job right out of cosmetology school. I was so excited. I was felt like I was ahead of the game, right? It's my parents. So thought I was all that. And I was,
you already knew how to do it.
Oh,
Y'all
I
not
knew
teaching
how to
me nothing.
do it. Oh, you didn't have to tell me anything. I could teach you. And so my client sits down, I'm doing her hair, and my manager walks in. She said, "Hey, Gina, I want to talk to you before you leave today." And I looked at her and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to get a raise. I'm going to go to the next level. And I go to her office and I sit down, and here she was. She was just very stoic, professional. And here I was 21, but I was still young, new, first job. And she looks at me and she says, "Gina," she said, "I know that you come from a long line of hairstylists and very successful in your family," but she said, "I feel like, as a manager, as a friend, that you don't have what it takes to make it in this industry. And I think you need to find a new career. You don't have it. You can't do it." And I can remember Tommi sitting there, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, is she joking? Is she going to be like, oh, never, I'm joking, you're going to get a raise, whatever. But this woman was so coldly staring at me and completely demolishing my dreams and everything I thought I was. And as she's talking to me, I honestly did start to doubt myself.
Of course. She said you can't.
Do I have what it takes? Am I living in this world of fantasy? I mean, are you kidding me? And I was devastated. I was humbled. I was scared. I was young. I was, shaking and crying. And I said that I went through every emotion. I broke a Guinness Book of World Record in 3 seconds. But as she kept talking to me, I was looking up and I said, "Gina, that fighter in you, you can either fight and you can let her words drive me, or just kick me out of the game." And it was that moment that I decided to fight, because I thought, who are you going to tell me that I'm not going to make it in an industry that I love? And I am so glad, and I am so passionate about the can'ts in your life and people telling you can't. And even myself, I was telling myself, I started to doubt myself. I can't do that. I can't do this. Maybe but I'll tell you what, that drove me so much that I thank her today.
Yeah. I have one of those stories.
Okay. I want to hear.
Where I myself am a cosmetologist, and I got my license when I was 19.
Okay.
19, 20. I got my license. I went to cosmetology school at a vocational school in Hollywood, Florida.
Oh.
And I was fresh out of school, and I went to a salon to apply for a job, and it was predominantly white salon. So I felt like I didn't belong when I walked in the door, because I looked around, I saw no one, but hair is hair to me. So it wasn't a matter of, can I do it? Of course I thought I could.
Yeah.
And so I had to demonstrate a color application. And so I went through the steps like I knew in school. I parted the hair the 4 ways and I started applying the color. The woman had gray roots. And I started in the back. And when I finished, I was sitting out in the lobby of the salon, and there was one of their master stylists that was critiquing me as well as the salon manager. And the salon manager came out front, and I'm sitting in the lobby of the salon, and she goes, Tommi, her hair was gray, and you should have started it from the front so it had more time to process. And so she's talking, and at this point, when she goes there, immediately I go to the space of she's about to tell me I didn't get the job. Like I can hear by her tone and her kind of trying to coddle me in the moment, and tears just start streaming down my face. So first of all, I am a fighter. So I was so angry in that moment that her no was impacting me the way that it was. But in the process of me recognizing the no was coming, I also was processing the moment of I knew to start in the front. But because I was nervous it was just like I went into the mode of what was the training in school, going that way. But I boo-hooed in that lobby. And I walked out of there coming from a line of family members who do hair as well. So I'm like, I know how to do hair. I was the one that everyone came to do their hair. And she's telling me I can't. I got in my car. I sat there and I cried for however long. But I did feel like, well, maybe I'm not professional enough for this opportunity and to really be successful in this industry. In the cans in life, if we don't manage them well, they will carry over to other areas of our life. So in that moment, you knew you had to fight, but you got you can. Did that impact you any other way as you progress through life, working on your empire that you have today?
Well, I think about that and I thank her today because, if I would have listened to that, I would have never went on to build 400 salon locations globally. 15,000 salon lifestyle professionals work under our brand. And it's like, I don't know that would have ever happened I would have never done that had she told me that I can't make it. And as that little girl came out in me, that fighter, that rebellious, that you're not going to tell me anything. I'm going to go prove you wrong. It wasn't even about proven to myself. I got in that headspace of, later as I matured, I forgave her for that. But it was just getting the cants out of my life and start telling myself, yes, I can. Yes, I can. So absolutely. Yeah.
So when you think, and I know you said that color, there's an acronym for that, and I definitely want you to share what those letters stand for. When you think about that moment and you talked about how you were able to draw from what you acquired in the process of growing up, feeling different, knowing there was this part of you that just couldn't accept what was the norm, and you needed to move forward in life, and you carried that with you. When you think about that, what would you go back and tell your younger self when she was younger and in the space of, I don't belong?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We're not all cut from the same mold, and we all have a purpose in our life and a reason why we're here. And I would tell myself when I was younger to stop comparing myself to others. We don't all have to be the same. We're all going to be different. And I think that I shouldn't say we, I got caught up earlier in life thinking, oh, I have to be like them. And I wasn't accepted. And I kind of was resentful because I was so different in so many ways. So I would go back and tell myself, no, you have a beautiful soul. You have a purpose here on this life, and the Lord wants you here. And we're going to move through this and not be defeated by those people that are going to try to stop you. And that continues to happen in my adult life. There's always going to be naysayers and, you can't do it, or I don't think you should. And so that's what I'm talking.
So as you're fast forward, here we are today, sitting in this chair, and you are successful. And not only are you successful in what everyone can see with Phenix Salons and Suites, there are multi-prongs to this business. Can you share what those prongs are?
Sure. So kind of this goes into out of your box. And so I had to push myself out of my box and get uncomfortable, because I think that when you're uncomfortable is when you grow. And so I got out of my box and I went out on a limb and opened up my first salon and continued to do hair. And then I always say that I'm the most selfish person because everything I do, I feel like I do it for myself. And so with that said, I can never find that perfect color line, getting to color and gray coverage. So I went out and I actually created my own color line that is sold, distributed throughout salon. Yes, it's a professional color line. So that was really exciting, very new for me. I didn't ever think I ever wanted to have like a product line, color line, but I did. I got out of my box. I kind of forced myself forward. And then my newest is that I'm launching xoxo Gina, which is a cosmetic beauty line. And I'm starting with a lip portfolio because I, for one, can never find that perfect lipstick. So I wanted to create one. I don't. Well, I just made it. It's coming your way. So I went to Europe and put the best ingredients in my line. But it goes beyond a lipstick. It's about empowerment. And just like I have done in my salon suites, and I'm a big advocate for entrepreneurship. And I think that goes back to when I was little. I never wanted anybody to tell me what to do. And so
you needed to be the boss.
I just loved, liberating people to own their own business. And that's what I've done. And so I'm doing the same with xoxo Gina, and creating, designing a portfolio that you can build wealth through royalties. And so what's really fun about it is that, again, bringing in individuals who want to have their own business, and single moms or dads or whatever, people that want to have something. And so I've named each one of my lipsticks like confident and daring, and because I want everybody to pick up that tube and look at that daydream believer, that shade of that day, and apply it in your life.
Congratulations. That's amazing. And it's very inspirational for people to hear that you can start in one place, but that's just the beginning. We have the power to continue to write the script of our story so that we can become whatever in life we desire to be. So that's extremely encouraging. So before I let you go, can you just tell us what the other words are that go with the acronym of color?
So C is for can't. So you got to get the can'ts out of your life and start telling yourself you can. O, out of your box. Got to get uncomfortable to grow. Scary, but I always look back and it's not so scary after you jump in and try something new. L, love what you do. That's just, when you love people and you love what you do, I think it creates just a beautiful energy and draws people to you. O, opportunities. You got to go out and get your opportunities. Me, I tend to sit back, and if I think about it too long, I won't do it. I talk myself out of it. So I'm just got to go for it, go after those dreams, those opportunities. You, unfortunate, there's going to be unfortunate times in our life. We all have our cross to bear in one way or another. And it's just about getting up. Get up, keep moving, keep putting one foot forward. And some days it's a bitch, it's hard, but you got to keep going. And then our relationships, just everything I've built has been off of relationships and meeting people like you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, no,
I appreciate that.
I love what you're doing. So thank you for letting me be a part of this, because I feel very honored.
Thank you. So before I let you go,
Yes.
Is there anything that we did not discuss that you would like or you believe would add value to our listening community?
Yeah, gosh. Color your life. Just color your life. You know, the can'ts, the out of your boxes, the love what you do, the getting through those unfortunate times, those opportunities, those relationships, and yeah, just get up. Just get up. Keep moving.
Well, I truly appreciate you taking your seat at the Stay a While table.
Oh,
We see the table,
oh yeah.
but we appreciate you coming here today.
Oh,
We really do. And thank you for sharing your bought sense, because it provides our listening audience the opportunity to glean from your experience, because you've already paid the price. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
thank you. God
Yes.
bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.